Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me for this month's Book of the Month review. I've got a really awesome book to suggest to all of you out there. Take a look in the upper left-hand corner of your screen right now for the title. Here's the book as well, The 40-Day Word Fast. I mean, I'm telling you guys, this book is fantastic because I think all of us could use some lessons on the power of our tongue and just how much trouble the power of our tongue can actually get us into. I'll take a minute to kind of walk you through a couple of the notes and highlights that I made to the book here. But you know, one of the things I work with when I'm talking with couples is this idea that our tongue is powerful. You know, the old nursery rhyme of sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Couldn't be a bigger lie out there that we teach our kids, you know, in these nursery rhymes. I mean, when you stop and think about it, these nursery rhymes, read the words. Have you ever really read the words? They're very dark. They're very, I don't know, they're just not good. Jack and Jill went up the hill and Jill came stumbling after, or I fell out of bed and bumped my head and didn't wake up in the morning. You know, whatever it happens to be, you know, they're all just, they all just have this darkness to them. And so anyways, back to my point, I'm sorry I kind of rambled there, but, you know, we have a lot of power in our tongue. James, half-brother of Jesus, talks about it in his book of the Bible, right? In his writing. In James chapter 3, he talks about the power of our tongue and that this little teeny muscle in our mouth, you know, is like the bit of a horse in a horse's mouth that can steer the horse this way or that way. It's like the rudder of a ship and can move this great big ship any way in any direction that it wants. Well, our tongue is the same exact way. You know, our tongue so often gets us into trouble. You know, whether it's our spouse, whether it's somebody at work, whether it's our next door neighbor or a family member, our tongue inevitably gets us in trouble. And so this book does just an absolutely amazing and fantastic job at helping us to understand what we need to be aware of, what we need to be looking out for. I mean, the title of the book alone says A Spiritual Journey to Eliminate Toxic Words from Your Life. And the author is Tim Cameron, and he's done just an amazing job. And I'm just going to kind of read you a couple of excerpts here real quick. You know, so the things he's looking at is the idea of our judgments and how we judge people without even really knowing we're judging them. Criticism, sarcasm. I mean, how many of us can relate to sarcasm? I mean, we see it in television, in the movies. Everything is sarcastic. That's the only way you get laughs in things like television and movies, and how that transfers over into our personal lives and how we resort to sarcasm. And what we end up really doing is tearing people down rather than building them up. Negativity, you know, just always having that glass is half empty attitude. And then communicating that, complaining, just kind of a complaining, whining heart and the damage that can cause. And then gossip. Who of us is not guilty of gossip at some point in time in our lives? And so judgments, criticism, sarcasm, negativity, complaining, and gossip are several of the key points that this book addresses and talks about. This note here I highlighted says you'll stop sizing people up and judging them, and we'll start to see people as the Lord sees them. And what this book really did to me is it convicted me, and it convicted the words that can come out of my mouth at times, convicted me of my attitude and my behavior in general in cases and situations. But, you know, it's always been a prayer of mine in my prayer time that God help me to see people the way you see me. And oftentimes when I'm praying that prayer, I'm like, oh gosh, Lord, I don't know if I want to be able to see people the way you see people, because I don't know that I could handle that. I think that would be too overwhelming for me to even comprehend feeling about people the way God feels about me and the way God feels about people in general. And so I did need to do some self-check and some evaluation to just be reminded, God, every choice I make, every decision I make in how I act towards people, how I treat people, what I say to people, my attitude towards people, all of that matters to God. And it ultimately matters to the people that I'm interacting with. And so I would really, really encourage you guys picking this book up. Read it together as a couple. If you're married, again, the 40-day word fast, spiritual journey to eliminate toxic words from your life. Down below in the more information section, I'll have a link to this book. I'll have a link to several other resources for you to consider and take a peek at. If you want to schedule a complimentary discovery call to learn more about my ministry, to learn more about what it might look like to work with me, you'll find a link to scheduling that as well. So thanks for your time. I appreciate it a great deal. I wish you all the best, and may the Lord bless you. Take care.